Alok, guy calling from California, Golden State, says slow growth of atheism and how that impacts morality. What do you mean by that, Alok? Tell us more.
Yeah, this is Alok. No, that was not my question. My question was that I think the slow growth of atheism in US compared to Western Europe and other developed countries is primarily because of three reasons. Because we are a mainly Christian country, and so were they. And obviously, if you read the stats and if you go there, you can see how soon they have changed, especially in Scandinavia. So I think the three main reasons, apart from how gullible we are, is morality and spirituality. Morality in the sense that even people on the fence do not quite understand where and how we get our morality from. We can send them the secular humanist manifesto all we want, but at the end of the day, they will think that some human beings have made it up. And the spirituality debate is a bit interesting because I come from a very technical background, and a lot of my circle is technical, and they are okay with everything with atheism except that they are looking for some kind of higher purpose. And by higher purpose, I don't mean better family, better connections, but something more in this life, which I think they think atheism doesn't offer. So I think these two things are helping them not join us. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that.
MD, what you got?
I'm not sure I really followed your line of thinking the whole way through. It sounds like what you're saying is that I say we, I'm Canadian, but the U.S. Is predominantly Christian, and so it's in the fabric of the society that you need some sort of like higher power to direct you in terms of your goals and the sort of like higher level satisfaction with your life. Is that the sort of thing that you're talking about, Alok?
That was my second point, that even people who might be very scientific, at least in my circle, who want to join or want to consider atheism, they think that we are devoid of this aspect, that we dismiss spirituality as nothing, and we think it is voodoo, and they think there's some meaning to it, and we don't answer that question. And the first one was they don't understand where we get our morality from.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I got that. I mean, I heard you mention that, they'll say that people just made it up, and like, yeah, like that's like people made up all of these things, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
People made up the rules of secular morality, and they also made up the rules of biblical morality, right? They're just attributing it to a different source. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's a hang-up that perhaps exists in the fabric of some Western societies. I think that some people have been breaking free of it, but I also think that it's hard to paint atheism with so broad a brush. And I think there are a lot of movements, religions, spiritual followings, whatever you'll call it, that fulfill that need that people might have, that are positive. They may not be atheists. They may not brand themselves as atheists, but they might be, for all intents and purposes, atheist, secular humanist, and but they also add in some sort of higher calling or something like that. And I think that we have to resign ourselves to the fact that some people will have a really difficult time breaking free of that perceived need for some sort of divinely handed down declaration of what we should care about and what matters in the world. Some people will need it, and some people won't. And I don't know if we can do anything about that. But I think that the fact that there's like sort of a long menu of different options that people can choose from, and all atheists do it a little bit differently, I think. So I mean, it's just you're pointing out I think a valid fact about reality, but I don't know that there's anything that we can necessarily do about it.
So what I'm trying to ask is, if I'm an atheist and someone is on the fence and they ask me, as an atheist, how do I practice spirituality? I think most of the anchors on the shows have been dismissive. The spirituality is a vague and voodoo word. And
yeah, I would ask them what they mean by spirituality.
Yeah,
because I don't really know what spirituality means.
Alok, I agree. Nobody knows what it means. They have notions, but everyone seems to disagree, and the definitions always fall apart. I wouldn't be dismissive about it because I know what they kind of mean, right? I think we all kind of know what they mean, a sense of one's place in the universe, the greater connectedness we have with others in the universe, and meaning in life and things like that. And so how does an atheist practice spirituality? Well, first of all, they try to get away from that term and call it what it is, the greater search for meaning. Individualized though it may be, it is the individual's journey to craft meaning in their lives, even if it's meaninglessness. It's there's the question of meaning and the question of connectedness. And so I suppose one can do that many ways: by volunteering, by personal improvement, art, poetry, film, literature, caretaking of others, right? Like having children, taking care of them, giving them the best life they can, taking care of our elders, and things like that. And because we are humanists, largely, although plenty of us in the comments may be atheists, but we're certainly not humanists, are we? Our focus is on living beings, human life, and maybe animal life and plant life, whatever that might be. And so the spiritual journey is probably going to go, the meaning, the search for meaning is probably going to go in that direction. Man, that'll occupy you for a good 5,000 years. There's so much to do in this world. Spoiler alert: you're not going to get through all of it. You're going to die, and so making this journey as meaningful to yourself as possible. I think there's a really good Jean-Luc Picard quote in there somewhere, but I don't have it at the ready. But does that answer your question, Alok? Because we're going to move on.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I appreciate your call. Thank you so much, Alok. Hope to hear from you again.